I thought we started really well. I thought we were competitive. I thought we played with energy in the first 5 minutes. And then, when they kind of went on their first run, it kind of deflated us a little bit, which I'm not really sure why. But the offense, I think, for us, it starts on defense. And we, struggled, scouting report wise. We struggled personnel. We struggled to do what the coaches asked of us. And then, overall, they just played with more energy and effort, and, those are the things that just can't happen.
What do you do when your coach throws the entire team under the bus after a devastating loss? Stephanie White did exactly that following the Fever's 80-61 blowout defeat to the Valkyries. This wasn't just any loss, it was an expansion team demolishing them for the second time this season. To make it worse, it happened during Caitlin Clark's highly anticipated return from injury. Just days earlier, the Fever had dominated Aya Wilson's Las Vegas Aces and Nafisa Collier's Minnesota Lynx. Yet, in front of a sold-out Gainbridge Fieldhouse, questionable coaching decisions left analysts baffled, and White's post-game comments pointed fingers at everyone but herself. The question now, is this the leadership the Fever needs?
We have to talk about Stephanie White getting in the presser and actually going off on the Indiana Fever, but it's something about it, man, because although, yeah, I get it. She was talking about the players, and I understand that because she was right. She also need to take a little bit of accountability on her own as well.
Picture this. Just a week ago, the Fever were on top of the world after winning their first Commissioner's Cup. They had found their rhythm, dominated Aya Wilson and the Aces, and outplayed Nafisa Collier and the Lynx. The chemistry was clicking, the team's identity was solid, and everything seemed to be falling into place.
Caitlin, you've had career high school, college, pro. You never were really injured before and had to sit out. Now it's been twice. How do you mentally go through that part besides the physical rehab while you were sitting out? How do you cope with it at home and killing time?
It's honestly been hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It's difficult, going to prepare for games, but knowing you're not going to be playing in them, and I think just reminding myself of, my abilities and what I've been able to do in this league, even though I've been sitting out, and, just trying to be a great teammate, be a great leader, even though I've been on the bench, and serve my teammates in that way.
Then came July 9th. Caitlin Clark's return from her groin injury was supposed to be a celebration. She had missed 5 games, including the Commissioner's Cup championship that the team won without her. The energy inside a sold-out Gainbridge Fieldhouse was electric as fans eagerly awaited her return, expecting fireworks and another statement performance.
I think it's given me great perspective on what other people have gone through their career, and like you said, I've been fortunate enough to never really been injured, and I play a lot of minutes usually, so I think it gives me good perspective, not only for people that are injured, but some of your teammates that may not be getting the minutes that they want to get, and I think I can use that experience to be a better leader, to be a better teammate, but also it's challenged me mentally. I think, it's really hard to stop and go, and especially when you're not feeling your best. So just trying to get my body as healthy as I can be and remain confident in myself, and then do everything I can once I step back out on the court to help us win.
Instead, they watched in disbelief as the Fever were demolished 80-61 by the Golden State Valkyries, an expansion team that looked far more seasoned. This was their second loss to the Valkyries this season, but this one stung more. Clark's return was supposed to ignite the offense, yet the team shot just 31% from the field and 22% from 3. The ball movement vanished, timing was off, and the once smooth offense completely broke down.
Bentley lays that one in. Look at the attack, how quickly up the floor. And Clark hits a 3. The Fever have hit.
The Fever scored only 19 points combined in the second and fourth quarters and surrendered 10 offensive rebounds in the second half. Every possession felt forced. The crowd's excitement turned to stunned silence as the team unraveled. Clark summed it up best. We started really well, but when they went on their first run, it kind of deflated us, which I'm not really sure why.
Bentley lays that one in. Look at the attack, how quickly up the floor. And Clark hits a 3. The Fever have hit.
This wasn't just a bad night. It was a system failure that exposed deeper issues. The same team that had looked unstoppable a week ago suddenly seemed lost. But the real shock came after the final buzzer, when the blame game began.
it's every single person on our team, and, nobody played well today. And, you should look yourself in the mirror and find ways where you can get better and, come back to practice tomorrow and then play again on Friday.
Stephanie White's decisions raised eyebrows across the league. She benched Lexi Hull, one of the team's best defenders and three-point shooters, despite her consistent performance all season. Hull had been the perfect complement to Clark's style, spacing the floor and locking down opponents.
And I think collectively we didn't do a good job at taking away the stuff that their team likes to do and making them do things they don't want to do. We didn't do a good job of that. We also gave up some timely offensive rebounds that they do a great job of kicking it out, getting open looks, getting open threes late in the game. I think it really just comes down to effort and us not locking in mentally and following the scouting report.
Instead, White started Ari McDonald at point guard, forcing Clark to play off ball at small forward. It made no sense. Clark is a natural point guard. That's where she creates, leads, and controls the tempo. Taking that away from her disrupted everything.
We have to talk about Stephanie White getting in the presser and actually going off on the Indiana Fever. But it's something about it, man, because although, I get it, she was talking about the players, and I understand that because she was right, she also needed to take a little bit of accountability on her own as well.
The offense became stagnant. Clark couldn't find her rhythm, and the team looked disjointed. Analysts noted it looked like the new lineup hadn't even practiced together. Clark needed the ball to create, not to run screens off the ball.
About Caitlin and Ari starting the game together and Lexi coming off the bench.
Yeah, I like the ability to have two primary ball handlers on the floor, particularly with a team that comes aggressively, in the two-man game. Being able to play off of one another, being able to give the opponent some different looks, and quite frankly, for C specifically, not having to have her play under duress 94 feet the entire time she's on the floor. So there were some things that we liked about it. There are some things that we don't. So we'll continue to work with that.
Benching Hull hurt the team's identity. Her shooting and defense were key to the Fever's success. Without her, spacing disappeared, ball movement died, and the offense turned predictable. The Valkyries took full advantage of the chaos, exposing the Fever's lack of chemistry.
So what happened? The Fever? Slow it down! They get into the beautiful motion offense we've all been in love with since the start of the season. Oh, pass, screen away. Oh, what a thing of beauty. Pass, screen away. Oh my goodness. Did you see how Kelsey Mitchell just set that screen? Mwah! Magnificent. And the Valkyrie, Natalie Nakase, and the crew, they said, oh, now's our time to strike. So over the remainder of the first quarter, the whole entire second quarter, after being up 20-11 with 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go, the Golden State Valkyrie proceed to go on a 30-12 run for the next 13 minutes.
White's rotation decisions made things worse. Clark, returning from injury, was kept on limited minutes even as the team's offense struggled. Each time she sat, the energy disappeared. The offense became stagnant, relying on contested shots instead of open looks. What once flowed smoothly now looked broken.
I would say we can do better than the motion offense when Caitlin Clark's on the bench. We can utilize Kelsey. We can utilize AB. We can utilize Ari. We can do things. But no. Caitlin Clark was a decoy for many parts of this game. Majority of this game, dare I say. She didn't seem like a threat other than when the ball was in her hands, which Stephanie White literally has a heart attack and says, no, Caitlin, no. Too many assists, stop. Too much facilitating, cut it out.
These weren't minor tweaks. They were fundamental mistakes that dismantled the team structure. Changing the lineup, moving Clark out of position, and benching key players all led to the disastrous 19-point loss. But the real damage came when White spoke to the media.
I was disappointed because I felt like there was a lack of competitive fire. With the exception of about 2 5-minute spurts, our attention to detail was poor. I'm not sure if it's not knowing the game plan as much as, because if it's not knowing the game plan, then that's a whole nother conversation as much as not executing the game plan.
In the post-game press conference, White said, "I was disappointed because I felt like there was a lack of competitive fire," criticizing her players' effort and attention to detail. Her comments hit hard, especially for players who had just battled through a rough game.
Our attention to detail, undisciplined. I felt like our energy and our competitive fire was not there, and that's disappointing.
I guess, why do you think you had some of these inconsistencies when it comes to focus and engagement, things like that?
I'd say discipline more so than focus. I think this is a group that focuses, but you can focus, and then you have to be able to go out and be disciplined enough to execute it, right? I'm not sure. We're, as coaches, that's our job to figure it out. Why it is. You've seen it in spurts, you've seen it in moments, you've seen it with certain lineups. So finding those lineups that we've seen it with consistently, and maybe keeping those together.
Yet, she made no mention of her own errors, no accountability for benching Hull, no explanation for the McDonald experiment, and no reflection on her poor adjustments. White blamed everyone but herself.
It doesn't take much. There's other ways. But to give up your defensive presence just to mitigate that? Come on, man. To give up your defensive presence, Lexi Hull, somebody who hustles to get rebounds, right? Hustles to get the rebounds. She had like 7 to 8 rebounds. 7 to 8 rebounds, man. We're going to look at the stats. But she was hustling.
Clark, in contrast, took responsibility. She admitted the team struggled both offensively and defensively and said they failed to execute the scouting report properly. She didn't blame others. She looked inward, showing leadership and maturity that stood in stark contrast to her coach.
Our team, we have a lot of inconsistency. We raise to the occasion when we're playing for 30,000, and then we need to bring that level of focus and that level of energy every single day. It's really hard to win in this league, and I think, we need to focus every game because all of these games matter when September, October comes. So it's really just going to come to us, and we really need to regroup, turn the page, learn from this, and come with a better mindset on Friday.
Analysts quickly pointed out the disconnect between White's coaching philosophy and Clark's natural style. White prefers control over every possession, while Clark thrives in a free-flowing, creative system. One analyst even said, "The Fever may soon have to choose Stephanie White or Caitlin Clark."
It has come down to this, y'all, and it's plain and simple. Caitlin Clark has to give the Indiana Fever an ultimatum. That's right. I've been disgusted all day about this piss-poor, embarrassing performance from the players, and most of all, from this coaching staff. Stephanie White, I'll say it again, you are a pure bum of a coach.
Now, the Fever face one of their most embarrassing losses of the season. Coaching missteps, lack of accountability, and misuse of star talent have all come to light. The same players who lifted the Commissioner's Cup are now struggling under poor leadership. The question isn't just whether the Fever can recover, it's whether they can do so, with White still calling the shots.
As long as Stephanie White is here, we'll never see the true greatness that Caitlin Clark has within her. We'll never see it. Caitlin Clark has to march up to that front office and say, hey, look, either you guys are going to fix this and we're going to do it my way, or I will not put on this jersey and I will not allow you guys to profit off of me any longer. It's that simple. You want her or you want me? I'm going to pick the coach. I'm going to tell you what players I want on this team. Caitlin Clark has to put her foot down. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I have never seen someone fumble, just flat out fumble a golden goose like this. The WNBA has fumbled her. The Indiana Fever management, coaching staff, everybody has failed Caitlin Clark at every single turn. All of them.
During their championship run, everything worked because players were in their natural roles. Clark led the offense, Boston dominated the paint, Hull provided spacing, and Mitchell delivered clutch scoring. Against the Valkyries, that balance disappeared. Confusing rotations and poor adjustments ruined their chemistry and identity.
I just feel like starting out this new combo, this new duo, who hasn't really had that much time to get into game reps. Game reps are nothing like practice reps. They are nothing like practice reps. You can go down the line in history and you will hear coaches and players say that it's just not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same pace. It's not the same energy. It's not the same effort. It's not the same. There's nothing like game reps. They had none together, and you started them together.
Clark's brief moments of control in the third quarter, where she tallied 3 points, a rebound, and 4 assists, proved her ability to lead and elevate teammates. The talent is there. Clark, Boston, Mitchell, Hull, all capable of greatness. But without the right system and smarter coaching, their potential is being wasted.
In fact, we almost look worse like that. And my last warning that I would say to the Indiana Fever brass, this might come as a little bit of a low blow for you guys, but hey, it is what it is. In 2023, the Indiana Fever averaged 4,000 people in attendance for home games. 4,000 people. Do you want to go back to that or no? Just let me know.
Despite the disappointment, there's still hope. Clark's talent is generational. Boston continues to grow as a force in the paint, and Mitchell remains a key scoring option. The Fever have the pieces to build something special, but only if their coach starts building a system around her players instead of forcing them into one that doesn't fit.